my name is J.R. Jordan. I'm the lead vocalist for Fantasy Club / Future. We did Fantasy Girl, Got the Bug, Mystery Girl, Dream Girl. What else? 20 Below with Roy Davis Jr. His first song coming out when he was a senior in high school? Junior?
16.
Yeah, he's still in high school hanging out with us. But yeah, so I've been singing house music, doing house music for last 25, 30 years, and kind of stepped away, got back in the game a couple years ago with Maurice Joshua. Came out with some new stuff with Maurice Joshua, Hula Mahone, and Roy Davis Jr., and getting ready to do something new with Future in Fantasy Club. Back in the day, just, growing up around cats like, Ricky Dillard lived right down the street from me, and he was singing for Farley, and just hearing the mixes on the radio stations and going to the high school parties and being involved that way, kind of got a feel for the underground sound, the house sound, whichever one you guys want to call it, and just kind of developed a love for it from there. That's wow. The first song that I did, the first time we went to the studio, actually the way Pierre and I met was a mutual friend hooked us up together. Pierre they just did Acid Track and Your Only Friend, and Pierre wanted to start doing experiment with the acid with vocals and kind of doing like the sound instead of just the track and stuff. And so we met through somebody else when I was at Columbia College. The guy was at Columbia College, and then we were doing a commercial. He heard me sing, and he was like, "Hey man, my boy, blah blah blah, does house music. He's looking for a singer. Of course you guys, whatever." So we kind of met and just went from there. And then after that, Felix came into the group. Felix, the house cat, came into the group. Him and Pierre had already been working on stuff, and they had already hooked up. And then I actually met Felix. The first time I met him was at the studio when we worked on Fantasy Girl. And we went in the studio and did it. And I laid the vocals, I think, in about an hour. And we were done. And then Mike Hitman Wilson and Pierre, who else? It wasn't Bill, somebody else, another DJ, actually mixed it down. In fame, yeah. But no, I'm from the South Suburban area. Chicago Heights, was born and raised. My father was a well-known bishop, and my family is well-known in the ministry out there. My father had over 6,000 members, over 200 churches under him, and we had a big community service organization. So I was already pretty well-known in the South Suburban area just because of my last name Jordan and Bishop Jordan being my father. Another fun fact a lot of people don't know, as far as gospel, Lonnie Hunter is from St. Mark, was under my father, and Rashawn Mitchell, both these guys. Well, Rashawn has Grammys and Lonnie has won Stellar Awards. So having a strong gospel background and coming from that way, being kind of well known, I guess I was kind of well rounded, always kind of laid back, never got caught up in the fantasy club hype stuff. That's just not me. And he used to call it blues. He said, "Oh, blues, bumpity bump stuff." No, he couldn't stand it. He didn't like it at all. If I'm doing gospel, it was cool, but anything outside of that, no. I supported. He just didn't like me doing it. He didn't have the problem with me actually pursuing it. He would just talk this little trash about it or whatever, but he was still having it. Actually, things are kind of coming full circle. Like the guys from Future, like Spanky. Spanky was a member of my father's church, so I would see Spanky almost every Sunday. Roy went off overseas and did his thing, and was doing. And Pierre did the same thing. Felix did the same thing, but we always kept in touch some kind of way. And then through the miracle of Facebook, he connected back with everybody. So, when they found out I was back in the game, everybody was calling me up, and we reached out, we sat down and talked. Everyone was like, "Okay, let's work on something. Let's do something new." First they wanted to see if I still had the pipes. And once they figured that out, they was like, "Okay, yeah, let's go ahead and work on something. Let's do something." So, which is why Roy has the latest thing out now, Take Me There on Rouse Records. So, and we're getting ready to do something with Future. And sometime this month, maybe next month, we gotta go and finish up some stuff. And I'll be going back in the studio with Maurice Joshua and Hula. I don't know. I'm pretty much an open book as far as JR goes. Married, have 2 kids, 7 and 9-year-old boys. Yeah, I started late. Very late. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's fine.